guys, it's your girl Favorazia. Welcome back to my channel. From the title, you guys already know what I'm about to talk about. So congratulations to me and my hubby. We are expecting our very first baby and we are so freaking excited. So this video is pretty much going to be a rundown of how we found out and how my first trimester treated me. Right now I'm no longer in my first trimester, so I can give you all the deets and teas that I had during my first trimester, and you guys let me know if that's the same thing that happened to you or if it's not the same that happened to you. Everybody's pregnancy is totally different. If you've been on my channel, you've seen that we had a little Miami getaway with our friends, and so after the Miami getaway, I am freaking hot. So after the Miami getaway, we got back home and I had missed my period for like 2 days, which is not a surprise to me because sometimes I do miss my period for even longer than that, and it's like totally fine. It still comes. I wasn't having any symptoms or anything that could even trigger my brain like, oh, you're pregnant, you know. But I did not see my period for like 2 days. I was like, oh, let me just go pee on a stick and see what is, right? And bam, it came back pregnant. I took one of those that says pregnant, literally pregnant, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay. I go show my husband and he's laying on the bed and I'm like, oh, see. And this stupid guy thought I was pranking him. Like, why would he think I'm pranking him? Yeah, I've probably pranked him in the past, but still. So he thought I was pranking him. First of all, I always prank him about it. Second of all, he's never seen a pregnancy test that says pregnant. He's used to seeing like the 2 lines. So to him, it was just a sticker that was pasted on there that said pregnant, and I was showing him. I'm like, I'm not kidding, dude. I am legit, you know. He finally believed. We got excited, you know, blah blah blah. The first person I told obviously was my best friend. I told her, and then a couple of days later I told my mom, and then a couple of days later, or maybe weeks, I told the rest of my family. Went to the hospital. They took the pee test again, and then they did a blood test and they were all coming back positive. So it was legit. I was pregnant. I was what, 6 weeks pregnant and had no freaking clue that I was pregnant. It was really exciting time. We're excited. I feel like me knowing I was pregnant brought about all my pregnancy symptoms, because when I did not know, I had no freaking symptoms, but once I found out, I kid you not, all of the symptoms started coming in. Like, why? The very first symptoms I feel like I experienced was fatigue. I got really tired easily compared to like my regular day by day. I felt really tired more often. And then I developed some tender breast. My breast became very tender to touch. Like, do not touch me, please. I do not want any touching, because they were so tender, they were painful, and I just wanted to be left alone. I had a little bit of cramping and a little bit of spotting. So I had asked and they said it was pretty normal, so I was not taking it. I was like, okay, if it's pretty normal. And you know, in your first trimester, I had the fear of miscarriage. I'm not even gonna lie. I know a bunch of people always say, oh, first pregnancies, miscarriage is common and stuff like that. So I was really scared about that. So I was like so skeptical. Later on in my pregnancy, I started experiencing a lot of bloating and constipation. So first of all, I do have chronic constipation before pregnancy, and so the pregnancy just worsened the constipation and it's not better. They prescribed me like Colace to help with the constipation, but it wasn't helping. I found out that what helps me, I take prune juice once in a while. That helps. And then I've been taking some fiber as well, but then I couldn't really stand the fiber during my first trimester, so it was hard for me to take it every single time to drink it. So I just like let it. Same goes to my prenatals. I just couldn't chop down my prenatals. I had situations sometimes that I tried to drink my prenatals and they would just come right out. Let's just switch a little bit and talk about prenatals. So this is my first pregnancy, obviously, and they always say, oh, you need to try like a bunch of prenatals before you find out which one is right for you. The very first one I decided to try was Care Of. First 3 days were fine. 4th day I just couldn't take it because they had me taking like 5 pills, and I'm not trying to bash them or anything, but when someone is already like pretty nauseous, there is no way they could take 5 pills and chuck it down. So the prenatals were like 3 pills, then I had fish oil pill, and then I had probiotic pill, and taking the 5 were just a no-no. I switched and went to Oli. Oli was fine, but the gummies kind of, I think because of I don't know if it's the iron or the fish oil in it, but the taste is so strong that I took it for a couple of times, but I just couldn't stand the taste. Then I got 2 different ones. The other one had 2 gummies I had to take. I was taking it just fine. Then I couldn't stand it, so I switched back to pills, and then that's what I'm taking right now. I'm still on my pill. I take 1 pill a day, and it works perfectly for me, and I'm fine with it. I'm not gonna say I take it on a regular, because honestly I do not take my pills on a regular. I wish I should, and you should if you're pregnant, but I just can't handle it. The nausea and vomiting kicked in. Those 2 were like the holy grail of my first trimester. So I've seen people who had worst first trimesters than me, and like the way they vomited was like really scary. I know my vomiting was scary, but like the way they vomited was even scarier for me. And then I've had people who had perfect first trimesters, and that's why I say everybody's pregnancy is different. Okay, I was constantly nauseous, okay, but it's not like I was constantly throwing up. No, I will not constantly throw up. I will throw up when I ate certain things, and when my system literally just got irritated, or when I was just too nauseous, I will make myself throw up, because I'm that kind of person. I can't stand nausea. Like, people can't stand vomiting, I can't stand nausea. Like, I just can't. To swing into the things that make me vomit, I will go to my food aversions. Okay, first, food aversion, sweet things. Everything that was sweet at that time, I did not just want to catch it. I tried ice cream. I really tried, because I'm having a summer pregnancy. Okay guys, I'm having a summer pregnancy, and Charlotte, God loves me, it's freaking hot. It will go down just fine later in the night. Bruh, I'm out here gushing it all out. Okay, I thought it was just like a one-time thing, but I tried it again and the same thing happened. So I was like, hold up, we're gonna stop. We will stop for now, and then we'll continue later on. Tomato sauce. I love tomato stew, so I just find it so hard that I can't stand tomato stew right now, because I used to cook so many things with tomato stew and things like that. Not being able to eat it is kind of a challenge, and it kind of limits what I can cook now in the house. It's the acidity in the tomato, I think. And when I make my tomato stew, I tend to put in a couple of tomato paste, and I think the paste is so concentrated. Tomato stew, a no-no. Every time I ate it, it came right back. I wouldn't be able to even sleep, because the acidity just kept me up all night. Like, I could just feel it in my chest, in my throat, everywhere. I could just feel it in my gut. So I stopped it. I know I tried it again later on, but I still couldn't stand it. So I was like, okay, this is a sign. This is a sign I gotta stop. So I stopped. Chicken. I just can't stand chicken. First of all, the smell. The smell gets me. It's not the taste of chicken, it's the smell of the chicken that doesn't just sit right with me. And then one of the other things that I couldn't stand, and I'm so freaking sad, was soya. If you're African, you know about soya. Soya is pretty much beef, grilled beef in a very spicy way, and it's so good. I couldn't stand the taste, the meat taste of soya. I could stand the beginning taste of soya, but I couldn't stand the meat section taste of soya. So it was just like a no. So this limits my protein intake. Are you guys getting the drift? I can't eat chicken, I can't eat soya. So I wasn't eating beef, I wasn't eating chicken. Oh Lord. The two things that I was tolerating just fine at the beginning, and then later on in my first trimester, it was like X, mango, and noodles. I went to my best friend's house and carried like a whole box of noodles, okay? And Indomie to be precise, the African one. It has different kind of spice and it's totally different. So that's what I was eating. It was my joy, it was my life, because when I couldn't stand anything, I go make a packet of noodles and eat, and I'm fine. I am righteous. I am woof. I'm living. Same with mango. I used to eat mango like crazy. That was my fruit, my go-to fruit, even before I was pregnant. So it was like and then I threw up on mango twice. So normally, and this is how I always do things, like if I eat something and it makes me throw up the first time, I'll try it again later on. Later, not the same time again, like maybe a couple of days later, and if it does the same effect, then I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. So that's what happened with both mango and noodles, and I had to put a stop on both of them, and it saddened me so much. Another one that I was tolerating just fine, and up to now I'm still eating it, but then the aftertaste is still a problem to me, is watermelon. Watermelon has been one of my fruits of choice forever in my life, since I was born by my mama. So I couldn't stop watermelon. I'll always eat it. Maybe it's because I was eating it way too much, but at some point the aftertaste of watermelon just became annoying, just became nasty to me. And so not that I took a break, but I took a step back from how much watermelon I was eating. So not all the foods were bad. What could I tolerate? Obviously, I'm not gonna lie, there were so many things I couldn't tolerate, but spicy food was my one thing I was going for. Like I said, Indomie was what I was always eating. Anything else they cooked, I would just put some hot pepper on it and I'll eat it just fine, and I'll be fine. It wouldn't bother me or anything. And so yeah, that's how I lived my life for the rest of my first trimester. General feelings about how I felt about my first trimester. Honestly, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. I'm just excited that that part of my life is over. Do I look forward to eat again? I don't think so. It's not a very pretty feeling, but it is something to experience for sure. Now I've experienced it, so now I know what to provide in context if someone asks me about it. But it was a very challenging trimester, and I'm very glad it's over. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know about your experiences. Let me know, to the future moms, what you hope your experience will be like. And yeah, just let me know what you think about the video. But thank you for sticking in. Oh my god, thank you for sticking to the end. Ciao.